Test. It's working? Okay. You ready? There it was. All right. I'd like to call the order special meeting in regards to Williamson. The beginning? Well, that's the, I think it was Thursday or Friday. Kathy called Williamson, Kathy Bennett, the lawyer, to arrange for the phone call. Williamson got in touch with me, wanted to know what was going on, and I told him. They put me on hold. President of the company got on. He wanted a rundown, talked to him, explained to him what was going on. He apologized, said he thought this was taken care of already. He asked for some additional time to figure out what the problems were. We hung up the call. They had a staff meeting, called me back, said that Ted, I think he's one of the owners, he developed the program. He's been assigned to the town of Shelby and nothing else to deep dive and try and figure out what's going on with our account. So what they're asking for is additional time before so they can do a deep dive, figure out what's going on, and come up with a plan, and then can inform us what's going on. And I think this could potentially save us a lot of money if they can find a problem. And that's where we're at.
Okay, so if they're doing what you call a more dive, getting into this deep dive, I guess, I'm not sure what that's all about, but they're talking about this. If they can't come through and find out what the issue is, then we're still going to have to go with another firm, right?
Yeah, we'd proceed with that. I think we should still move forward with getting their,
Yeah,
Getting-
I
getting their
think
thing.
so.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
How confident were they about figuring it out?
well, they said it's a simple matter of going through the lines. They apologized because they thought it had been resolved, and I explained to them everything that was going on and the problems we were having, and that's when he said, we're dedicating this guy to your account to figure out what's going on, and we'll get back to you. We'll get some information for you. Give us a little bit of time to figure it out.
How
And I
often?
told them, I said, I'm not laying blame on anyone. I just want it fixed.
How often will they stay in touch?
They're contacting, they called Miranda twice today, so it's daily. They're working with Miranda on it. Time frame? I don't know a time frame. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah. Over the last year and a half, Over the last year and a half, you claimed that you contacted Williamson and they were working on it, and all of a sudden, they got to put their best man on it. I don't understand why it took so long for them to decide this.
I understand. Like I said, the employee that set up our account and was working on it, that we were working with, no longer works there. And the president, his explanation to me was, he thought it had been fixed, and like I told him, I'm not laying blame. I'm not here to lay blame. I want the books fixed.
He thought what was being fixed? Sorry, I'm just.
He thought our account, the president thought our account not being correct was fixed already, as he relayed to me.
And what is he saying our problem is?
He doesn't know. That's why that's why he's requesting some time. That's why they had a staff meeting. They assigned a guy named Ted. I think he's part owner of the company, dedicated just to the town of Shelby to go over our books. See if he can find the issue.
We agreed to talk as a board. Why didn't that happen at all? The whole board should be informed. We have questions for him, and we can't even ask him a question.
That's why we're meeting tonight. This happened Friday afternoon.
I don't want answer from you. I want to answer from them. You've been saying for a year and a half, this is Williamson. It has nothing's been done. I don't understand.
Well, maybe this is a chance for things to get corrected. And if we can get this corrected in a couple of weeks, then that would help us all out. Everybody here is taxpayers and save some money. But if it can't, I understand. Then I think we got to move forward. But don't you think we deserve to give them a couple weeks and then do the phone call and ask them their questions that everybody might have?
I think, personally, I think they owe this board an explanation as to why it's been over a year. I have the minutes here from the April 2023 meeting where it was first noted that there was a software glitch. So we have been going on 14 months for software we paid $75,000 for, around, and we've been told it's going to be fixed. I think they owe this whole board, and we had some communications via email, and from you two, you said, this was, Steve, I'll quote you, I agree the whole board should be involved in something this sensitive. Remember the famous words, transparency. All of us should hear it. So I think we as a board need to call and find out from them. He owes us an explanation as to why he didn't know about it. So I think we need to make a resolution to, as a board, get them on the phone and at a public meeting, and they need to answer questions. Then he can go look up whatever he has to, but he needs to answer to us first.
I don't see why we can't do both. Just what I'm saying to you is give them a couple weeks, and we can ask them then what took them so long, but have the answer to the issue.
Well, part of it is I think, well, he might not know what the issue is, but clearly somebody in his office knows, because whoever Scott has been talking to for the last year and a half clearly knows that whatever the issue is. So maybe the president or whoever this gentleman is you spoke with can't answer, but he ought to be able to bring somebody to the table that can. And we need to understand what it is, because a week from Monday, we are going to be interviewing hopefully some more accounting firms, because we still have issues outside of Williamson that need to be resolved. But we need to understand what, if any, Williamson issues. And even if they don't have to be fixed by an accounting firm, we've been waiting. We're going to be 8 months into this year and not have financial reports. That's just unacceptable.
I have questions for him even before he starts anything. We need to find out what was really happened. Were they contacted? I don't know. We have no idea. So
Was who contacted?
they were contacted for almost about a year and a half, and nobody's been here. Nobody's came to the table to explain what's going on.
We haven't asked them to come in till now. to explain it. Like I
You
said,
said you've been talking to him for all this time, and nothing's been done. Nothing.
okay, I understand your point of view, but the first half of the year we were working with an employee who either got fired or terminated, and now we're working with a new trainer that's working with Miranda, and then we agreed to call. Kathy called. They called me and said, we have no idea. Give us some time to answer your questions, to find out what the problem is, and then we'll gladly talk to you guys.
So are you telling me?
How do they know our questions? We never even talked to them. How do they know what we're asking them? Exactly.
Wouldn't you want answers? to your questions?
You have been talking to them for over a year, and they don't know what our problems are, or that we even have problems here? Is that what
Apparently
you're
the
saying?
Apparently the president didn't know. He thought it was resolved.
Okay, but if he thought it was resolved, then somebody in that company knows what our problem is.
Exactly.
They need to be on the phone with us.
Well, they requested from us some time to find the issue, and I don't see an issue with giving them time, because we haven't interviewed the other firms yet.
I don't see the issue with us being able to understand what the problem is from the person who, what's the harm, Jeff and Steve, what is the harm in finding out now what is the problem? He can still go try to fix it. I'm willing to give him the time to fix it, but we need to understand what the problem is to determine whether, because we've been hearing for a year, 2 more weeks, the end of the month, next month, pretty soon. And how much longer are we going to do that? So let's understand what the problem is. From that, we might be able to determine what's a reasonable amount of time to allow them to fix it.
I mean, from what I'm hearing is they don't know what the problem is. And if we don't give them a couple
No,
of
the
weeks.
president doesn't know. That's what's, I mean,
Yeah,
if I understand.
and they
Scott,
put
the
a guy
president doesn't know.
specifically on there. I mean, I think it'd be a wasted phone call right now. Because they just put their hands up in the air.
Somebody can explain to us what happened.
They don't know what happened. That's the problem.
Well, then
That's
I
what
want
they're
to
trying
hear that
find
from
out.
them.
Yeah, I want to hear
I want to hear that
exactly. I
from
want to
them.
hear
I'm
that.
sorry. I just.
We need to talk to them directly.
Yeah,
Directly.
yeah. I think it needs to be a board call, phone call with them.
I agree that we should all talk to them, but I also think that we got to give them a couple weeks or some time, a little time, to get some kind of program together so they can talk to us about what's going on. We can't just come up with stuff that.
Transparency.
I know, I said that. And I'm looking at that.
You have copies,
That's-
you have
that's
copies
not
for
just my
everybody
favorite
else
word.
If they want. You can pass that down in case anybody doesn't have the email. Here it is. What's the harm in calling? Maybe they won't tell us anything, but if it makes a couple of us feel better, what's the harm in doing it? The worst that's going to happen is they're going to say we can't tell you anything.
All right, I'll make a motion that we give them 2 weeks to come up with the answers before we call them. Is there a second? Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I would like to know from Jeff, could you please help me to understand what's the harm in asking them to tell us what they know right now?
Anything.
You're saying that. We don't know that from them. So that's what I'm asking. What is the harm in,
Well, I
what's the
just
worst
think
that's going to
waste
happen?
of
We're going to
time.
waste a 10-minute phone call. Isn't that the worst that can happen?
I think it's a waste.
But that's for you, and I can appreciate your opinion, but we would feel better. So what's the harm for you? What's the harm for you to waste 10 minutes if they tell us they don't know anything? Where's the harm in that?
This started at an executive session. We had an agreement that we're going to go 2 and 2, and you were going to give us permission to talk to them 2 on 2. And then it changed, and Steve and Jeff even said you don't know the finances. You did not assume to get involved, and you were just going to let us take care of it. Now you guys want to get involved with it. I had no problem with. But we need to talk to them first. I got questions, and I want to know what the hell's going on.
I got questions too, Ed, but,
That
and I
exactly,
think,
that
I
this
think
should be
that,
done now. now.
I think that, instead of you and Linda being there, maybe it should be me and Linda or Linda
All
and
of
Jeff
us.
and
How
you
about
We
and.
agreed to that before.
So
Now
I
you
don't
guys
have no
changed it.
problem with that, with
All of us.
all of the board
Yeah,
being
all
in there.
of us.
Jeff's-
I think all of
Jeff
us
You
should
know,
said
we
do
all
it.
can't
of
do it all
us.
at once.
Yes, you
Yes,
can,
we
right
can.
here in front of everybody.
And
Right
you,
here.
And you guys said it in your email that you wanted it to be an entire board.
Yeah.
And that's what I
That's no-
prefer. Let's do it as a board. I'm gonna ask you the same question. Jeff is still thinking down there, but what is the problem with making the call? If they say they don't know anything, then we've wasted a few minutes of our time. But if it gives me peace of mind and or Ed peace of mind, what's the harm? We might find something out.
I think in my mind, I just as soon have them have the time to look up stuff. And then when we come in to question them, they have the answers
Okay.
that we need.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. You believe that it's not worth 10 minutes of time to get more information now to determine whether we're, and what happens in 2 weeks if they don't come back to us, then what? Then we're going to give them 2 more weeks?
No, I said a little while ago, if they don't come through, then we hire a firm and get it done.
No,
All
it's-
I'm saying is they requested 2 more weeks,
A
or
fir-
a week. I don't know what they're requesting. I'm not in on the emails.
That's
Neither are
exactly
we.
right.
That's
We
the
should
problem.
all be in on
Neither
that
are
email.
we.
All
So
of
what
us.
I'm saying, if they wanna, they
And
need a
we had
little
an
time, I
agreement.
say give them the time. I'm not
All
looking
right,
at,
is there anything else to add to the, anything new to add to this? We have a
How
motion.
This is going to go.
Yeah, anything else you want to add, Ed? Anything new? Any new information? Linda?
No?
Steve?
no.
Jeff?
I listened to Linda last, I'm afraid it's gonna start, about the allied
Someone's got
people.
to turn their microphone off.
About you wanted 2 weeks to bring,
That was just a
Okay.
suggestion now, so I said 2 weeks.
no, I'm not talking
You
about
can talk
this.
to that now.
You wanted 2 weeks instead of the 5 days to get what we put out for.
To give it
The response.
for the RFP.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
more
and-
firms. Yes.
I'm fine with this here. I don't want to talk to people if they don't have answers. I don't want to waste everybody's time. Give them, I don't even want to put a time limit on it. I just want to make sure when we get it done, we get it done. I think this is bombarding them with questions and you know they don't have the answers.
And I disagree with you.
Okay, that's fine.
Have answers. Somebody, if Scott has been talking to somebody over there for the last year, somebody knows what our problem is. You sat here and Miranda sat here within the last couple meetings saying that some Joe person from Allied and Williamson are working on our problem. So if they've been working on it, somebody clearly knows what the problem is. So I would like to know what is the problem. That will help us to better understand how much more time should it take. And have they taken too much time already? I don't know about you, but if I paid $75,000 to have something done at my home and I was a year later and it wasn't right, I'd be going back at the company for something, I can tell you that. And I think we need to understand whether the time they're taking is responsible or not. But if
I understand. I see both points of view. Well, we've got a motion on the motion to give him 2 weeks before we call him. Is there anything new, anything that hasn't been said already that we need to talk about?
The whole board's gonna be on that call,
Yeah,
like it should have been originally.
Or you guys can do it in twos. It doesn't matter, however you
You
guys
said
want to
that
do it.
before, and we ain't getting no answer. We wanted to talk to them. You've said that. We already had agreements to all this way back in the executive session. Our attorney was sitting there. She agreed to it. She was gonna contact them. I'm done.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Motion to give,
Can you repeat the resolution so I can write it down,
it
please?
was a motion to, how code. Allow 2 weeks before we call, Williamson. For them to figure out what was wrong, before we call Williamson. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Schiffer?
Aye.
What?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Seitz?
Yeah.
Ms. Lemina?
No.
Mr. Zelini?
No.
John, this is your second warning in 2 meetings. There won't be a third warning. There is no public comment during the meeting. We're discussing. I'm sorry, there are rules of precedence for meetings. I vote yes, so the motion is carried.
I'd like to make a motion if we don't have a response from Williamson Law by July 31st, which is 2 weeks from tonight, that this board will set up a phone call for August 1st to talk to them to determine what exactly is our problem.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Could could we change that to the 5th, Linda?
No, 2 weeks, you said.
Guy's on vacation all week, for the rest of the week. I just found out this afternoon.
He's on vacation
no
a week
way.
in 2 weeks?
No, he's vacation Thursday and Friday.
He has people that work for him. They should be able to. I can tell you the president of the company isn't doing the work. He's got people that work for
He's
him.
not the one that's gonna be calling us. We're gonna be talking to Ted, the programmer.
Well,
Okay, it's open for discussion. We got a motion and a second.
we held the CPA firms to 2 weeks on the dot.
In 2 weeks, if they call, we contact them, we're gonna have a public meeting, and it's gonna be right on so everybody's here, can see her, the whole board. I want it in front of everybody.
Well, we can do it 2-by-2 calls, like you said.
No,
Or we-
we can do
whatever.
2-by-2 calls, but I'm going to do it right here in the boardroom so the public can participate.
We can do a roll call vote. Mr. Schiffer?
Say something?
Oh, yeah, we're, if you got something to say, we're
Will
still
Williamson
open.
permit the board to do that with them?
If Scott gives them the okay, yes.
No, you guys can call him, yeah, that's not a problem.
So the board, they might feel like they're being attacked, or would they prefer two?
That's their company, so.
Jeff, we paid them $70.
No, I'm not arguing I'm gonna agree with your
Yeah, I agree.
motion, Linda. I'm just asking, will they show up?
They
We
won't
can
show
do-
up here.
No,
It'll be a
we'll
phone
do.
call.
We can do a Zoom call or a Teams call or some video call. I'm not asking them to
Okay,
come out here.
All right, it's fine with me. I agree, aye.
Mr. Seitz?
I say yes.
Ms. Lemina?
Yes.
Mr. Zelani?
Yes.
Excuse me, and I vote yes. Motion's carried. So that's August 1st. August 1st.
6 o'clock, Scott?
Yeah, 6 p.m. should work. August 1st. 6 p.m. Alrighty, that settles that. Motion's carried. Phone call August 1st, 6 p.m. All right. Is there a motion to close the meeting? Is there a second? All in favor of closing the meeting, say aye. Aye. Motion's carried. The meeting is closed. Thank you, everyone.